Some people believe continuing to do the same thing while expecting a different result is the definition of insanity. Those are the words that I wrote for the ballot argument opposing Measure D, the city's request for a permanent 0.5% sales tax increase. I'm opposing this measure because the city has demonstrated it cannot be trusted to responsibly administer the revenue it receives. When tax increases have been granted, the money isn't spent as promised. For instance, in 2011, the city asked voters to approve a 1% general sales tax increase in effect for the next 25 years. They promised it would be used to improve police and fire protection and maintain city services. After approval, they shoveled over $50 million in cash and as much as $100 million more in tax rebates into the pockets of one developer. The assurances that this money would stabilize our police and fire protection and protect essential services turned out to be empty promises. The previous sales tax increase has generated over $63 million in new revenues since it was passed. And during the same period, our annual transient occupancy tax revenue rose from $15 million a year to $34 million. Despite these windfalls, we are swimming in unfunded pension and health care liabilities that now total $217 million. Given the city's track record, placing additional money in their hands is unadvisable until they can demonstrate the ability to cut costs. The city wants to blame Sacramento for this shortfall, but this is not a situation that arose overnight, and the city's promotion of the tax increase contains thinly veiled threats that our streets will not be safe and essential city services will evaporate, and they use our firemen and police officers as pawns to justify the increase. Why has this looming debt not been addressed before now? What were the contracting practices that gave rise to it? We need to seriously analyze in a public forum the decisions that led to this shortfall, and we must figure out how to live within our means before we send yet another bill to taxpayers. City officials say, if we don't pass this now, Riverside County will just add a tax next year and we won't be able to keep that money for ourselves. They also allege that 2/3 of our sales tax is paid by non-residents. There is no objective evidence to support either of these allegations. And if Riverside County proposes a sales tax increase, they too will need to ask for your consent next year. I want to be a full-time council member and bring my analytical skills to our budget process. We must work together to think bigger and spend smaller. And that's why I'm asking for your vote on November 7th.